Look at these points that the Prophet mentions. He mentions three things. The first one is La aqla. There is no aql. كالتدبير, like a person who's organized. Yani there is no aql like a person who's organized. That's why you find, subhanAllah, some people, they get a salary at the beginning of the month. When they get the salary, what do? After the first week is gone, khalas, nothing. So the other 3 remaining weeks, he's faqir, poor, صح? He's al-fuqara al-ma'dumin, from the poor people. The other smart one, the sharp one, what does he do? He says 30 days in a month. I have a budget of this is how much I have, and I have to make sure every single day I have to live within my means. I'm not going to use more than that. He has 3,000 dirhams he gets, for example, and it's 30 days. How much dirham a day can he use? He's only allowed to use 100. He knows that he's not going to use more than 100. If he uses more than 100, he's in what? He's in trouble. So he's sharp, he's aware. He says, actually, I've got 100. And sometimes guests come over to me, and I get friends that I take out, my friends. So 70 is going to be mine, and that 30 per day is going to be for my friends who I want to take out and pay for their meal, and I'm going to stay within that budget. Remember, I don't want to be a musrif, and I don't want to be a person who's negligent.
وعن أبي ذر الغفاري رضي الله أحسن عليك. عن أبي ذر الغفاري رضي الله عنه قال: قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: يا أبا ذر، لا عقل كالتدبير، ولا ورع كالكف، ولا حسب كحسن الخلق. رواه البيهقي في شعب الإيمان.
The Prophet ﷺ in this hadith that Imam al-Bayhaqi narrated in Shu'ab al-Iman. By the way, this hadith, فيه كلام لأهل العلم. There is a speech to it regarding the people of knowledge. Some of them, they weaken it. They weaken this hadith, but there's no doubt that the hadith has nice meaning in it. There's a beautiful wisdom that can be taken from it. But so those who weakened it, they weakened it as the Prophet statement. So they said that the Prophet didn't say it, but they said it's Abu Dharr al-Ghifari's statement. It's his own statement. So there's a beautiful statements in it. From the scholars that weaken it is Al-Busiri, rahimahullah ta'ala, in his Misbah al-Zajjaj, he weakened it. And the hadith, of course, has a shahid from Ali ibn Abi Talib, and Tabarani narrated in his Kabir, and as we Quda'i in his Musnad al-Shihab, and Anas ibn Malik also narrated it. So there's a discussion on the hadith. But what does the hadith say? The Prophet ﷺ is said to have said to Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, Ya Aba Dharr, Aba Dharr, لا عقل كالتدبير. لا عقل كالتدبير. Look at these points that the Prophet mentions. He mentions 3 things. The first one is لا عقل. There is no aql. كالتدبير, like a person who's organized. Being a person who is organized, okay, who is scheduled and structured, there's no brain like that. A brain that is structured and organized, that's a sharp person. That's what the Prophet is saying. There is no aql like a person who's organized. There's no brain like a person who's organized. Sah? That's why you find, subhanAllah, some people, they get a salary. At the beginning of the month, when they get the salary, what do? After the first week is gone, khalas, nothing. So the other 3 remaining weeks, he's faqir, poor, صح? He's al-fuqara al-ma'dumin, from the poor people. So you could say that person, what's he lacking? At-tadbir, living within your means. He's not organized anything. He got it, and he's buying everything. The other smart one, the sharp one, what does he do? He says 30 days in a month. I have a budget of this is how much I have, and I have to make sure every single day I have to live within my means. I'm not going to use more than that. So he has what? He has 3,000 dirhams he gets, for example, and it's 30 days. How much dirham a day can he use? He's only allowed to use 100. He knows that he's not going to use more than 100. If he uses more than 100, he's in what? He's in trouble. So he's sharp, he's aware. So he will stay within his means. So that 100, if it happens that he uses only 60, he's happy. He's like, I move that on to the next day. So the next day he's got what? 140. So he calculates his days like that. That individual is going to be what? Very sharp. Then what does he do? He says, actually, I've got 100. And sometimes guests come over to me. And I get friends that I take out, my friends. So 70 is going to be mine. And that 30 per day is going to be for my friends who I want to take out and pay for their meal. And I'm going to stay within that budget. Because remember, I don't want to be a musrif. And I don't want to be a person who's negligent. I mean, I don't want to be extreme exaggeration, nor do I want to be negligent. As Allah said in the Quran, وَلَا تَجْعَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ فَتَقْعُدَ مَلُومًا مَحْشُورًا. That do not be a person who is stingy like this, doesn't give anything. So some people are like that. They think it's being organized to be very, very stingy. Okay? And another group of people, the first day he gets his salary, every person who lives in the room with him is like, what? Come on, let's party. And so the first week of his salary, he's finishing everything. And the next week, he's like, brother, can I borrow some from you? Can I borrow this from you, brother? So organization. There's no one like a person who's organized. You'd admire them. Everything's structured. I'm going to wake up this time. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sleep this much. I'm going to, when you meet them, they're so organized. Did you tell them, can we go out? It's like, I've got something to do. I've got this plan. I've got this. So organized. And there's some people, let's do something. Yeah, no problem. His whole life is, he lives the day as he wakes up. When he wakes up, he goes, hey, what shall I do today? No organization, no tadbir, no. So tadbir really benefits you as a person. What does it do? It benefits you. And that's why if you have children, you will know. Kids will every day, what will they say to you? Mom, what are we going to eat today? Mom, what are we going to eat today? So the mom is stressed. Why has that got stress on her? Because she herself doesn't ask that question. Because she hasn't organized herself to what she's going to give the kids that day. But you know what she can do? She can actually put down what she's going to be giving them for the entire month or every single week and stick that on the fridge. And what are the kids going to do? They're going to look at the fridge and say, wow, breakfast today, eggs, I don't like it. But they know what it is. Or cereal. Lunchtime, today's going to be rice and chicken. Don't like rice, I like pasta. Doesn't matter. He knows what it is. Dinner, it's going to be this meal. Don't not like this food. But it's going to be that. So every day he's aware of what he's going to have for that day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And he takes the pressure off the mother. She knows what she knows what to make that day. Because if you've got 7 kids, 8 kids, 9 kids, and every single day you don't have what meal you're going to be making, someone's going to say, Mom, make rice today. No, make pasta. No, please, Mom, we want lasagna. No, Mom, we want chicken curry. So you'll have disputes. How do you break it? The beginning. Organization helps with the brain, helps everybody else. Also your kids. Dad, what are we going to do on the day of Eid? Dad, Eid's coming up. What are we going to do? Dad, what are we going to do for Eid? If you're not organized and you're not prepared and you're not structured and you don't know, you're going to, as a person, going to frustrate you. And they're going to be frustrated. Everybody tends to like organization. As humans, we love structure. It helps us. I know a brother, subhanAllah, that due to the concept of organization, he came out of prison. And then he said, look, Akhi, I really miss prison. Ajib, why? So I want to go back to prison. Why? He said, because I was in a prison cell. I knew what time I was going to have breakfast. I knew what time I was going to have lunch. I knew what time I was allowed to go to the courtyard and play basketball. Do you understand? I knew what time I was going to meet the guys in the court and talk to them and have, everything was organized. Big man. And do you understand where I'm coming from? So the issue of tadbir, that's one of the hikam the scholars mention, is that the believer doesn't wake up daytime and say, oh, is it night already? That's why we have salah. It's one of the hikam the scholars mention. That is to keep track of the day. No doubt that the salah is ibadah, taqarrub ila Allah, but it has other benefits that it brings. It reminds you that this is dhuhr. It reminds you again, this is asr. It reminds you this is maghrib, isha, fajr. Keep remembering. So you find some people don't even have no You ask him what time is it? He's like, I don't know. Is it 8 o'clock? And it's 12 o'clock. Bro, if you're going to guess, it should show that you're very close. But if it's 12 o'clock and you're saying, is it 9 o'clock? What does that show you? Just doesn't care about the time. Make sense?